Now, for everybody who's wondering what the hell was that, don't be alarmed. I'm going to explain it all in this new video, which is titled Cryptocurrency. So they are the symbols for the various cryptocurrencies out there, just like the foreign exchange currencies such as Euro USD, Pound USD, Aussie, JPY, etc, etc. So this video, okay, I've decided to do this. I've been studying cryptocurrencies for nearly 2 years now, okay? So I was going to do a video on Bitcoin, but due to the amount of information I have, the video will be probably 15 to 20 minutes long, and I just think I can split it up into segments in order for people to just digest chunks of information first, but I do have a lot of information to share with you guys. So again, I'm Sean, welcome to the AstroFX YouTube channel. Hello to all of the new subscribers, etc. So let's get started. Now, cryptocurrencies, very, very important for the future. Even in the last year, the cryptocurrency sector has in fact blown out of proportion. So let me just stop there. Firstly, what are cryptocurrencies? Now, a cryptocurrency, by definition, is a currency which is available online in order for you guys to send and receive payments, pay for things, etc. However, the difference between a cryptocurrency and a standard, what's in your bank, okay? When you log into online banking, let's say you have a few thousand there, you want to pay for something, you send it as a transfer to your friend or the business, etc. That's within the banking system. However, a cryptocurrency, okay, is a decentralized way and a decentralized method to hold various crypto coins, okay? I'm going to get into that in a moment as well, and basically exchange at your free will with no centralized organization, looking how much money you have, seeing, okay, is that a little bit suspicious, etc. So you are your own bank when you are dealing with cryptocurrencies. Now, example will be, I've just explained the bank factor. Right, cryptocurrencies, there's many out there, and they're all emerging. Okay, there's over 100 now. 3 years ago, we only had a few. Bitcoin is in fact a leader at the moment on cryptocurrencies, okay? And in the next videos, I'm going to be going through and showing you guys some websites where to get the top pieces of information, okay, and all the statistics. So Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, Litecoin is a cryptocurrency. Think of Bitcoin, it's been named as like the digital gold, Litecoin, the digital silver, okay, and there's others out there as well, and they're all based and held by various pieces of blockchain technology. Sorry, I'm going to get into that shortly. Now, yeah, so Bitcoin anyway, you can hold Bitcoins and you can buy Bitcoins through something called, it's more or less like a third-party merchant, okay, and they act as banks, basically to give you an amount of Bitcoins for however much money you want to put in there. So let's say every single cryptocurrency out there trades at its own price. Some of them aren't actually trading, next to like the US dollar or the pound at the moment because they're not too popular. But let's take, for instance, Bitcoin. Recently it shot up from the 200 region this year alone, and now it's trading at 550 at the moment, but just a few days ago it peaked around 750. That's US dollars. So $750 per Bitcoin, okay? Now, Bitcoin actually started at around a few cents, I believe, back in 2009, 2010, when it first came onto the scene, okay? And as you can see, exponential growth has in fact occurred on the Bitcoin network. Why is this? It's various factors. Many people are trading Bitcoin now, transacting in Bitcoin. Banks, businesses are now interested in the blockchain technology. Okay, so there's so many factors that I need to just break up in different videos. We're going to get onto the charts, we're going to read some price action and highlight how many Bitcoins are in circulation, etc. So example would be a Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. I can send you 5 Bitcoins and the cash equivalent to that would be around $2,500, just as an example. So if I was to purchase something from you and you had a Bitcoin wallet, okay, it comes as an app on the iPhone and even an app on the MacBook, etc. You give me your wallet code, okay, it's basically like your sort code and account number over here in the UK. I take that, I put it into my app and I say, you know what, I'm buying a car off him for, let's say, £2,500. I type that in and it sends the equivalent amount of Bitcoins instantly over to my friend's wallet in a matter of sometimes seconds, if not minutes, depends on the verification necessary. And happy days, that's that. There's no third party, etc. I'm going to get into that in a moment. So it's a way in which, let's say, think of PayPal, for instance. When you have a PayPal balance, your balance is shown in pounds, euros, dollars, whereas, and then you can send PayPal to somebody else who has PayPal, right? It's a similar concept with cryptocurrencies. I can send cryptocurrencies from my wallet over to a friend's wallet if they're working with the same coding, all right? Now, history. It's where it gets interesting. Now, in the last 6-7 years alone, it's absolutely blown up. 2009 was when Bitcoin more or less came onto the scene, but there's a lot of coding behind the Bitcoin. Okay, where do cryptocurrencies come from? Now, there's something called the blockchain. I'm going to get into that shortly, but just think of it as this. Okay, so every single bank out there, let's say you have the Federal Reserve, and you have the smaller banks in each nation, each country, who feed from the central banks, okay, who borrow money from the central banks at interest, and they loan it out to the consumer at the end of the day. Now, the Bitcoin network, cryptocurrency network, there's a limited, okay, there's a finite amount of coins in which can come into circulation, okay, so that takes the risk of inflation away from actually using these coins and so on. So when Bitcoin first came onto the scene in 2009, it was trading at a very, very low amount. There's many stories out there where someone actually bought a pizza for 10,000 Bitcoins because, again, it was trading, you know, in the cents, in the pennies, and people were transacting. There's been a lot of controversy as well on the cryptocurrency network that these crypto coins, etc., are being used for black market, okay, drugs, guns, etc., grey market, tax evasion, but so is cash, right? And most of it's coming from the bankers anyway, so, you know, it's a big threat to them, so they're going to put out the propaganda and so on to say, you know, oh, this is banned, this isn't going to be a good thing, etc. But to be honest, many people out there think it's a great way of achieving financial freedom, because as long as we're using the money from the central banks, when they can overnight change the interest rate, print more, devalue their purchasing power, etc., you know, that's a big threat to them, because as long as we're using that money, we're still slaves to them, if that makes sense. So 2009, it came onto the scene. Bitcoins came in, the price shot up, okay, and the reasons why it shoots up, and it's like a pump and dump. Just think of it as a stock. When you get these cryptocurrencies, you're owning these coins in your wallet. That's your stock, and you can sell them back. You can exchange them back into fiat money, Canadian dollars, US dollars, pounds, euros, when the price has gone up, and you can make a pretty nice sum on that. And many people have become Bitcoin millionaires in the past few years because of the volatile movements and the huge percent gains, okay? So Bitcoin first started, market capitalization, how much is going in and out of the Bitcoin network was very small, and now it's over 12 billion. Okay, 12 billion. The trading volume each and every day is absolutely skyrocketing as well. Now, present moment, as I said, there's many cryptocurrencies out there. I'm going to show you on the next video a big list of where you can see all of these and see all the statistics about them. But yeah, present, there's so many people coming out with different ways on programming, you know, for businesses and stuff, how they can actually implement these coins as a method of payment. And many people are very interested. So if you think about it for a moment, the blockchain network, the cryptocurrency network is growing, and when you go to pay for things now, you know, you have your Visa card and you can actually just tap. You can just tap onto the payment process of the merchant, and it's going to take your money, you know, up to £30 and so on. You can now load it onto Apple Pay, and you can just have a picture of your card on there, tap again. So we're slowly edging towards digital currency, right? So even when you go to the bank these days, over here in the UK, you go, let's say you go to Nationwide, you say, oh, can I have £6,000 please? And they'd be like, oh, sorry sir, what's it for? Even though it's none of their business whatsoever. They say, come back in a few days and we'll prepare it for you. So banks haven't even got the cash anymore, okay? So even the banks have stepped up to the digital currency, not in terms of cryptocurrency, but most of their money is on the screen, it's digital, okay? Guys, digital versus fiat. Benefits, drawbacks, and so on. But banks, okay, as I've already mentioned, it is a bit of a threat to banks. Why? because banks basically have the full authority over your funds. Now with banks as well, there's costs, right? There's costs to, especially when you want to transact, let's say you have to change your pounds into euros, sending money overseas, you've got all of the exchange rates and so on. Banks can get a little bit sketchy sometimes if you're sending large amounts of money, and there can be a lot of questions involved. Now, with that being said, once you have your coins in a wallet, your select cryptocurrencies in a wallet, and you want to send it to a friend, you can take their code, put it in, it's kind of like a sort code and account number, send it straight away. Instantaneous, where banks can lag a few days depending on what country you're sending money to. I did a transaction the other day into Lithuania and it took 36 hours to land, whereas if I wanted to send that amount of money in Bitcoins or Litecoins or any other cryptocurrency, it's going to land in seconds, if not a few minutes. Why would it take a few minutes? Because sometimes the sender or receiver has to just verify the transaction, log it into the emails, click a link and so on. The major downfall of using cryptocurrencies is that if you're a bit sloppy with holding your wallet on your phone, because it's like an app and it'll just tell you, you've got 10 Bitcoins in there, underneath it'll tell you the monetary value, and it's always going to fluctuate because these markets are picking up now. There's a lot more volume and liquidity because so many people are getting involved, intrigued, etc. So there's the main drawdown for holding a wallet. If you're a little bit sloppy with it, sloppy with your password, you can in fact get your wallet hacked. But there's various technology coming out now on how to actually prevent that from happening. If you get your wallet hacked or you lose your code, lose your passwords, there is no access to get your coins back. Because remember, when you use cryptocurrencies, you are your own bank. It's your full responsibility. Now, going on to the no fees for sending Bitcoins or any other cryptocurrency to a friend, purchasing an item, etc., you may have a small fee. Now, a Bitcoin, you don't just send one coin over and you're limited to sending one coin, and you're only limited to giving the person the true value of that coin. It's actually split and divided by 5 to 10 points. So if I wanted to send £10 over, it'd be like 0.00015 Bitcoins and so on. So it's all done automatically. The fees are very, very small as well. So let's say I sent one Bitcoin to a friend worth $550. I'll be paying a few pence or a few cents on that transaction. Whereas major merchants, let's say you go to buy a coffee, put your card in the machine, the merchant, the third party processor of any business out there, okay, will actually charge 2%, 3% for Visa, MasterCard, and whatever other card dominance as a fee in order for the business to pay. That's how basically they make their money. So there's a huge threat here to the merchants and to banks, etc. That's why not a lot of people who work in these industries and so on are really for people to be their own banks and have their own freedom with their money. So it could potentially wipe out in the near future some of these third-party processing agents. So fees that we're looking at now, Visa fees, etc., 2 to 3%. Bitcoin, 0.2%. So another big benefit there. Instant, I've already gone over that. Okay, now I'm going to go into a little bit about the network called the blockchain network. You've heard me mention it and briefly cover it, but yes, the blockchain is in fact the centralized system. When I say centralized, it's peer-to-peer, so you have many people transacting with each other. You have the miners on the system as well. With mining, I'm going to do a separate video on that, but just to give you a brief idea is how these currencies actually come about. People get hardware, software, plug them in together, it takes a lot of kilowatts, etc., and you can mine at different speeds, different processes. There's a lot going on behind the scenes to actually get these currencies into reality, okay, but again, that's a different topic and a different video. So you have all of these people using the blockchain network. So for instance, I have my wallet, I'm sending a Bitcoin to my friend, and that Bitcoin travels across the blockchain network and hits my friend's wallet. Also, what's really, really good with the blockchain technology is that more or less how it works is the blockchain technology. Let's say for instance you have a bank and you're going to send a transfer, whether it be local or international. You have to put Swift codes in there, bit codes, IBANs, and it's just a set of data in which the banking system and the banking chain recognizes in order to send the money and receive the money into the correct account. It kind of works like that. However, again, there's no centralized system in the middle of a blockchain network which governs the actual value of all of the coins and so on. Now, with that being said, all of the blockchain information for each cryptocurrency, let's say for instance blockchain.info, again I'm going to go into that in another vid, actually shows you all of the transactions and all the data stored from everybody using the network. So for instance, from the start of time, from when, let's say, Bitcoin was created and came out 2008, 2009, everybody's transaction from everybody's wallet, okay, is actually stored on that network. So now you can go on the website, you can see the statistics, how many Bitcoins are in circulation, how many there is left, the volume, how many Bitcoins are traded per day, and you can see it's in real time. You'll see boom, 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 all of the different wallets and the users. And when I say users as well, just remember these cryptocurrency networks are anonymous. So you'll see the wallet number. However, when you actually sign up for a wallet, you don't have to put your email in. We do sometimes for security reasons and backup, but you don't have to put your name, address, you don't have to give ID as you do with a bank. So it's all anonymous, and you'll see all of the transactions going on throughout the day. So it may say the long number, and next to it will say 0.5 Bitcoins and so on. So you can actually see all of the data. It's a complete free organization of this blockchain in which everybody can see each other's transactions, and it's extremely transparent, again, unlike banks. What you need to know about the blockchain, okay, so each cryptocurrency lies on top of the blockchain network, and many people are quite skeptical and who actually created, let's say, Bitcoin's blockchain network, because the creator or set of creators hide behind a pseudonym called Satoshi Nakamoto. I've done my own research on that, and it's supposedly some Japanese dude who's created it all on his own, but no one's actually come out and said, okay, I'm that guy, etc. However, there was a BBC documentary not too long ago, an interview with a dude called Craig, I think he was Australian, who came out and says, I am the creator, etc. But I don't believe that for a second. The technology that goes on behind it to stop hacking, stop bugs, etc. Is way too advanced for just one person to actually code on their own. So every cryptocurrency is lying on a blockchain network. Banks, etc. are now creating their own blockchain networks because it can prevent a lot of fraud and so on, which I'm going to go into in a moment. So that's the blockchain in a nutshell. Watch list, the cryptocurrencies to watch out for. As I said, I'm going to pull up in the next video a big list where you can see the market capitalization, the growth, etc. But at the top of this list you got Bitcoin, which is trading in terms of the capitalization, 12 billion. You've got Ether just below that. Ether lies on the Ethereum blockchain network, and Ether has been out for 6 months now, the Ether coin, and it's already trading at 1 billion. So again, you know, in the last year, 2 years alone, so much speculation has come into these markets, and the trading volume is actually going through the roof. Litecoin, so Litecoin is more or less the digital silver. Bitcoin is the digital gold, soaring right now. Others, you know, you got some called Ripple. Just there's so many different names out there. I believe on some blockchains, if you're a whiz kid at programming, you can actually make your own cryptocurrency and see if you can make it onto the top 100 list. What is the future of the cryptocurrency network and a blockchain network? Well, first and foremost, investors. Who's investing in this software now? So I've mentioned banks, etc. We know the Federal Reserve Bank of England, the major central banks of the world are investing in this technology. We're already kind of shifting away from cash at the moment into, you know, the digital world through the banks. So maybe they're going to come out with their own coin. Who knows? We'll wait and see. Businesses and even smaller banks as well are now investing a lot into actually taking payments in various cryptocurrency formats. So you can maybe one day go and get a coffee, scan, there's like a QR code in which you can scan with your wallet, and you can send that company or business the amount of Bitcoins in order to walk away with some food or a coffee, etc. So a lot of businesses are latching onto this as well. Why? Because of what I mentioned earlier on with the fees from Visa. You know, a lot of people are losing money just from the middleman, the merchant, taking large fees. Trade volume as well, something to look out for, is that let's take it back to the foreign exchange market when that first came onto the scene, because the FX market, biggest market on the whole, is still relatively young, 30-35 years. And if we go back in time on the charts, you can see there's many gaps in the chart. Okay, if you're looking at the candlesticks, if you're familiar with that, even bar charts and so on. Reason being is because the volume and liquidity was relatively low at that point, but again, as technology advanced, the volume picked up, and that's where we get some fluid, very liquid movements, and again it draws in speculation, investors and traders. You can actually go and trade the majority of these cryptocurrencies now, buying and selling through it's more or less like a broker. So you can put your money in the broker and you can buy and sell the cryptocurrencies. You can read all the news about them. You can study technical analysis and actually use that on these currencies now as well. So future is looking relatively bright for cryptocurrencies, the blockchain network in particular. Reason being is because it's going to stop fraud and also assist people with storing data like medical data and so on, everybody's history in just a click of a button on the phone. So that's that. I just wanted to introduce you guys into the cryptocurrency concept, and the next video is going to be coming in 1 or 2 weeks where I go deeper into how to actually read the charts and more of a timeline and where to get all of the data for everybody who wants to get involved. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave your comments below if there's any other topic you would like to see on cryptocurrencies, and we'll catch up again soon. Thank you.